My name is Mirjani Merriweather. I am a ceramic sculptor. I am a Black woman. I am a daughter, a sister, a friend. I first fell in love with art maybe second grade. My parents were gifting me a lot of art kits. You know those art kits that have like the color pencils, the markers, the painting. They gifted me those every year for my birthday, and I just like kind of kept drawing. I didn't use crayons when I first started. I used pencils, mainly black and white. For me, in order to depict black skin, it was more of shading. Also figuring out how light hits our skin. Light hits black skin in such a beautiful way that's different than other skin tones. I took my first clay class in 8th grade. Fell in love with the feeling of clay. I love to get dirty in my work. I love to touch things. I'm a tangible person. I like to touch textures, and I've always been that way since I was a kid. During my time in high school, a lot of sculptures in museums didn't look like me, and I didn't really like that. So I decided to make work that looked like my family. I also wanted us to see ourselves in these places where we didn't feel invited. Like I would go to the museum and I would see pieces that didn't look like me, and I didn't feel welcome or seen as a child. Now when I create sculpture work and kids resonate with it, that's such a treat to me, because it's like you're seeing yourself in spaces where they didn't make the space for us. One time I showed work at the Walters Museum in Baltimore, and I was showing it in the Renaissance section of the museum. And obviously there's a lot of white art, but there was one sculpture in there, and it was of a black slave. And I was like, okay, cool. Now the curator was like, okay, yeah, we're gonna try to like dismantle all this. She's actually a white woman. She's like, we're gonna dismantle all this. I wanna have your grill sculpture in this room. I feel like that would challenge the artwork around it. And I was like, love that. Let's do it, let's do it. And I got so many photos from teachers, parents with their children next to this big grill sculpture, right? And I loved it because I'm like, these kids are happy. Like they're like, that looks like my uncle, that looks like my dad. The familiarity is such a beautiful thing to witness, right? Because essentially I do make the work for myself, but I also want us to feel seen in it as well. People did not like my grill series, i.e. people in school didn't like my grill series, which was fine, but I still did it. I did 3 more. And I kept making them, and I kept making them, and I started making them in different ways. And then people started to enjoy it. In the world of art for Black women, sometimes we can just be unseen. I don't even think it's a misunderstanding, because if you're misunderstood, you're still seen. A lot of people can look at me and be like, oh, well, you get attention because of your sculptures. A lot of people don't know who is behind the actual sculpture. It's a Black woman making it. People think that I'm a Black man, and I've gotten that often. A lot of Black women, even in community with Black women, have to work a lot harder, even to just be heard in certain rooms. Black women have to sometimes get a check from somebody of stature in order to be deemed important, which is frustrating. To people who say that art isn't for them, I would ask why. Everything that we do is art. Obviously, I'm biased because I'm an artist. Architects are artists. I feel like musicians are artists. I feel like stylists and makeup artists are artists. You have to use your creative juices, your creative part of your mind in order to build anything, to create anything. So I think that everybody is an artist in their own way. We have to learn to slow down and be patient and know that things are coming in their time. And that's what I was literally just talking about in Seed. You know, learning about patience and growing my own seeds, and knowing that takes time and I can't rush it. If I overwater my seeds, they will literally die. I have to just let things come when they're ready. My goal is to feel healed and at peace. And this is how I do that. For me, making work that sees and is seen is the goal. That's the purpose of the sculptures, is for them to take up space, is for people to feel encouraged by it, is for people to get a story out of it and apply it to their own life, and maybe get some type of healing help, along the way, and knowing that we're all human, we go through things. I'm being vulnerable, which is already hard for me to do, right? I'm being vulnerable through clay, and hopefully you don't feel as alone watching the process or watching the pieces. I really see my sculptures as guardians. I see them as protectors. I don't see them as like demons or scary beings. I really see them as I'm making my safe space, literally. And I'm hoping that my sculptures also give a safe space to other people. That confidence, that proudness. My sculptures elongate so people can feel proud. My sculptures stand tall, like they never slouch. You know, my sculptures are always seen, like shown at eye level or higher, so people look up at us and they're not trained to look down at us. Like everything is purposeful when it comes to my work. I always want to evoke an emotion because I get my emotions evoked when I'm making these. I've gotten a lot of negative comments about my work. Just as much as I've gotten good, I've gotten a lot of negative ones. People tell me that they're scary. People tell me that they're unsettling. But I also make work about Blackness and Black culture. So then my next question leads me to, what is your perception of Black culture? I would say to other Black women, just trying to do the same things that I'm doing, is don't let anybody tell you that you can't do it. And I think sometimes we only just need one supporter. When I was younger, my brother was the person who was like, do what you want to do, since I was like 9, since I was young. He was the person that was like, what do you want to do? And I'm like, I want to play in clay. He's like, then play in clay. The money's going to find you. Do what you love to do. And then remember why you did it. So when you're in the motions of making this money and doing this, you got to go here and you're tired and you don't want to do the work. Remember why you started in the first place. And that's going to get your juices going. That's going to encourage you and inspire you. Surrounding yourself around people who think like you, who encourage you, who also inspire you to be better is such an important thing. I think that finding your tribe is very important. The ideas that I'm most passionate about exploring right now are different from what I explored before. Before, my work explored normalizing Blackness and Black culture, and for people to not be afraid of us and prejudge us and things like that. And I wanted us to feel seen. And I feel like now my work is turning more inward. My work is talking more about my personal experience and like a visual representation of my own healing. I did an installation called Seed, and Seed was about my own healing, my own growth, how to ground myself, learning about patience. I'm not really a patient person, but I'm learning to be. And learning that patience, good things come in patience. Good things come when you ask for them, but also the things that are for you are going to come for you in the right time.